Thomas Hurdle is a name that's been out there for the past couple of days. Apparently, this is from Kevin Kerr's article on The Athletic. Paraphrasing quickly here. It looks to be that there's a real possibility that Thomas Hurdle may want out of Arizona. Not Arizona, sorry.
I don't say.
Yeah, I mean, the mess is all over the place. Out of San Jose, because he is one of a few players that is not happy with the Evander Kane situation, all that around the room. Again, if you think about it, Thomas Hurdle has been around that team for a long time. He's not as young as you think, Thomas Hurdle.
27 now, right?
Yeah,
it feels 2012, like right? Now. Yeah.
Like, you know, he would have been like a big part of that, like the real Marlowe, Thornton, Prime, Vlasic, like Paul Martin days, right?
Not the Prime Minister.
No, not the defenseman. The defenseman. Yes. Now, like, listen, I think everyone got a little excited with this. He has a year left on his deal, so extension talks, you would imagine. It's also said in this Kerr's article that he's not being shopped. Doug Wilson's made that very clear. However, it is more, and like, there's been stuff coming out about Evander Kane that we purposely not talked about because it's starting to come like more of just talking. There's almost this gossipy TMZ vibe to it that we're not going to dive into talking about it. The only reason we're talking about this is because it's Thomas Hurdle may wanting out, and Thomas Hurdle is probably one of the more underappreciated players in this league. His two-way game is great. He's really hit his offensive stride the past couple of years. Like, this is a guy who, honestly, if he got like $8 million on the open market, I wouldn't be surprised. And not to mention, when it comes out and the Habs are looking for a centerman, like, you knew it was going to blow up, and we kind of had to talk about it. But like, let's be honest here, guys. If you have to choose between losing Thomas Hurdle or bringing in Evander Kane, like, overall better players, it's Hurdle, like, regardless of off-ice stuff.
Yes.
But like, I think the bigger thing to say here is the Sharks need to move on from Evander Kane yesterday at this point, because now you're starting to lose core players, and he's not a young player, but he's still got a great lot of years left in him. Yeah. And if this sort of bleeding effect to the younger parts of the roster continues, like, you don't want Evander Kane around William Eklund.
No,
absolutely not.
No. Two things. First, I don't know how you get rid of Evander Kane. Like, no one's trading for that. That's more than clear.
That's a huge buyout.
The only way he's leaving is buyout or some type of mutual termination, which I also don't think is going to happen, because why would he terminate the contract? Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if he's playing in October, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's a separate discussion. Secondly, to me, from the way I read the article, to me, it sounds more like he has an issue with the way management handled it. And if that's the way he's thinking, is even getting rid of Evander Kane enough?
I think so.
Because just think about it. This isn't a 1-year problem, right? This has been, the way it seems, as he's been an issue for multiple years, and they've kind of brushed it aside. Like, there was the quote in whose article was it? Might have been Kevin Kerr's article, pretty much saying that multiple players went to go talk to Doug Wilson about it, and they were just told this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it sounds like it's a bigger issue. Sorry, go ahead.
I kind of agree with that, Alex. That it is a very big issue right now. And again, we're not going to look into too many of the details of Evander Kane for this one. But what I am looking at is just mounting frustration, because you're already having core guys not want to be there. But when you look at that core, it's like, look what they've been the last 2 years. It's like there's not really much on the Sharks right now that has shown that they could be a contender, that they could change, they could turn this around quickly. And like, they're in such a precarious situation, because Thomas Hurdle is really the guy that he hasn't signed his long-term extension yet, that he can leave, right? Like, he doesn't have like a Brent Burns or a Vlasic or a Carlson type of contract. And I could see from his perspective with that is that this guy wants to explore now. He wants to kind of see what's out there, because he is really in his prime. But again, like if he signs long term with San Jose, like what will they be able to show in maybe 3 or 5 years?
Well, a big part also about the Kevin Kerr stuff here is beside Kane, like obviously Kane's a big, like, you're probably around these guys more than your own family, especially the last year. And you'd imagine anything with Kane over the last year, especially, would be even worse because of how close contact it would have been to him. Is apparently Hertl's not interested in a rebuild. It's really weird. Kerr's he referenced Montreal as an example of the rebuild on the fly. So that was kind of funny. But that's also a big part of trying to keep Hertl. There was a quote from Hertl himself saying, like, I want to stay. It's like my second home. I started playing hockey here. I got 500 games here. San Jose means something to me. If you could build that connection, especially like Thomas Hertl is, I think he's Czech.
Yeah.
Czech, yes. Well, Thomas, obviously. Yeah. We had this conversation. Like, you need to, like, I don't think like the ship has sailed, but even if it's not the only thing you can do, and like competitiveness is such a thing, and again, the money he could get in the open market, like, you're probably fighting an uphill battle. But like, let's be honest, if they find some gambling stuff on Kane, like, then you probably have the termination of the contract there. Right. Like, a lot has to happen, but like, Kane is the first step, and it's more than just Hertl there. Again, it's the whole organization. Like, there has to be a boiling point, right? And it being public, I imagine, has to put even more pressure. Like, again, like just common sense dictates, and it doesn't really help with a lot of GMs. It's like, forget, like, first off, again, ignoring everything but Kane. He's a winger, and you have this like star centerman that's just sitting there. Like, your franchise goes back how many years if you lose Thomas Hertl, and the work they put into that guy too. That's not easy to replace. Like, San Jose, Doug, Mr. Wilson, sir, please, like, do what you have to do. I'm sure, like, listen, I'm sure they can figure something out at some point. Like, not to mention, you got to imagine maybe at some point there's going to be a team thinking, hey there, I can fix this. Because I mean, like, let's be honest here. The Habs drafted Mayu, guys. Like,
I know, but this is very like this Evander Kane stuff is extremely public. Like, this is more public than I think any other incident, and the NHL is full of incidences. It's just this one is so public that I say this, but I know I'm going to be wrong. I can't see a team doing it.
And Antonio Brown is still playing in the NFL.
I'm gonna lie. I'm checking right now on Cap Friendly.
Yeah.
And an Evander Kane buyout would actually not be that bad.
Are the windows done for that though?
I think so. Yeah.
It will be. Just, I don't know. You could tell him for the 1 year until the summer don't play,
and just send him home.
Suspend him.
You find a reason to suspend him without pay, and just sort of tell the guys, like, listen, this is going to be done.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can be done.
That happens in the NBA a lot, where like they tell like a guy who's making a lot of money that they're like, don't come to practice,
and then we're gonna buy you out and then sign.
Like, you're gonna be in the press box. Like, you still have to come to the games because you're part of the team, but you're in the press box.
Yeah, but
Gary, it's Doug. I need help. Well, you're an American team, so I'll give it to you.
And you're in California, right? So
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my prediction. They're gonna find something of cause here. I don't know when, but they're gonna do the Mike Richards route.
I mean, so things a little different.
I know. I
don't think Evander Kane's been caught at the border with something he shouldn't have, along with a bunch of his other teammates. I mean,
Okay, because the gambling thing is pretty. I know it's still an allegation at this point, but if there's proven.
Yeah.
If it's proven, then I think that's something that could be cause as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if they try hard enough, they'll find something.
I'm sure something will be done about this.
Yeah. But in the meantime, like, just they have to do something. They have to do something. Otherwise, like, the whole thing, the whole reputation of the organization is really like it's hanging by a thread at this point. Not Arizona bad, actually, but
don't you find it interesting how and I noticed this a couple days ago, like as I was reading the Thomas Hurdle stuff, how quickly things have changed in San Jose, not necessarily the team on the ice, but the locker room. As soon as there's no more Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau, it completely changes. And I mean, that sounds obvious, but when you're in that locker room for that long, your presence must rub off on other people. And it just seems to be that either it did rub off on people and it's just sour, or it didn't rub off on people. Because we have this discussion about Boston and Tampa Bay. Like, they're never going to have an issue signing guys for under market value because there's a organizational pyramid there. You can't make more than Sidney Crosby. You can't make more than whichever guy. It just, there's something missing here. And it's weird. It's weird to me.
Well, you still think about, Marleau had those couple of years when he was in, out. Yeah. No offense. Is Joe Thornton the type of guy who can lead a team on his own? No,
but it's not.
He'd be a good. Well, no. Hold on. Because think of it like this too, right? You can forgive a lot of stuff when you're winning too, and the Sharks haven't been winning for a long time now, and it's like all of a sudden, like, you can listen to your boss, but if you're at a company and you know you're losing thousands and thousands, and your job is, you're a guy who, man, I'm a member of the Sharks. Like, I don't have a big ticket, so if they need to get an asset or something, I'm going to be the guy moved out. Even if Joe Thornton's a great guy or Patrick Marleau's a great guy, you'll only listen to your boss, but until you start getting sick of your job or you hate it. I wonder if there's that sort of like, man, we just got caved in by the Golden Knights again. Like, pack it in about pucks in deep. I wonder if it's that type of thing. And again, like the Sharks just aren't what they used to be. You know, it's just like, and the Erik Karlsson stuff just hasn't been great. Like, imagine you have another guy like who's a leader where it's like you can clearly see where your team's at and the direction they may have to take, and you just want to be a part of it. But then they can't move him because he took all this money. And I just wonder if it's just they're getting a bit too divided there. And and we've talked about, like, it was almost weird that same year that Marleau left and Couture was made captain was just never the same. And let's not forget they lost Joe Pavelski too. Like, how massive was that?
That was huge. I think that was that, along with the Vegas loss and then Joe Pavelski leaving that.
Yeah.
I think those were the two factors. But again, like what we've said before, this team, and I know, they were winning for a while, but this team is in desperate need for a rebuild. But because of those contracts, and I know I've mentioned the Islanders as an example before, but I know different situation, different type of leadership group there. But with the Sharks I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't see them taking the LA Kings kind of path with things, because Logan Couture is not Anze Kopitar. And all of the defensemen right now, and I know that they've been good before, but in terms of injury, in terms of age, none of them are Drew Doughty.
Kurz did say, by the way, in this thing, is like they can't look at doing a full rebuild. Like, it's not an option.
You know what I think it's comparable to? And Adam, you made this point 2 or 3 episodes ago now about Nashville, when we were talking about how they can't do a proper rebuild necessarily, because if they start sucking majorly, they're going to lose out on ticket revenue because no one's going to show up. And I think that's the case here in San Jose. They can do it in LA because how many tourists go to LA? A bajillion. People from Montreal, people from Toronto, people from New York. There's people who go to LA to watch games, right? So they can do that, but it's not the same in San Jose. I don't know, but I don't know many people going to that area. So I wonder if it's a similar situation as, we can't really rebuild, because if we tear this down, we're going to have 0 fans in the stands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The teal can only go so far.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. I think we can put a bow on Kane and all that, and San Jose there. Mess. That's why they were like the second worst team on the front office ranking. Where's their vision, guys? Because I don't know. We have gone a little long here. So let's just quickly wrap up with Flyers. Kind of skipped over this. Sean Couturier was very, very quietly extended. 8 years, kicks in at the start of next season, obviously. The AAV is this is a really just good contract. 7.75. I was worried that he was going to get at least 8, which like he would have, like, because it's like, well, I mean, Voracek's gone and I'm better than Giroux now. Yeah. So pay me. But like I think Philly needed a big undisputed win of a contract, and Couturier was just so stupidly underpaid, and he just won the Selke not long ago either. So
go ahead, Daniel.
I like it. I like it that the Flyers, when it comes to trades, they usually are the guys that overpay, I think. But when it comes to guys that they've homegrown, there's something about loyalty in Philadelphia that I've seen that Sean Couturier just ran with it, and he knows that that's where he fits for the team. He knows that really he is their best forward right now, and he sees something there that I've had doubts with Philly with what they were building and what they were trying to do now. But he sees something there. He sees the vision there that they could be a contender or something.
And a lot of money.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
I think we get 8. To be honest,
if he hit the open market, I can't imagine the
get Jeff Skinner money
he would get. Honestly, I bet there's a team who would give him Jeff Skinner money though. I know you say that jokingly, but I feel like there would be.
It's hilarious, by the way, that like all these defensemen signing these big $9 million contracts, and Jeff Skinner is still like bottom 5 worst contracts in the league, and like Doughty and Carlson are there too. You're like, oh no, like those are the really bad deals that just are like it's so bad that even after like a meteor shower of an awful season of just terrible deals after terrible deals, you're still at the top. You survived, but it's in all the wrong ways.